Excited to be with you today. Super excited. This is going to be super fun. We're making our cute little Yeti pop-up card, which I'm super excited to be able to make with you guys. My name is Kristen. I am with Michaels. I actually work for Michaels. I'm the manager for online classes. So we're really excited to be able to do this with you today. We are going to go ahead and get started. And I am just realizing I was not supposed to be the teacher for this class today, but we had someone calling sick. So we just found out that I am teaching. So lucky, I work for Michaels and we have all the supplies just like sitting around our desks. So we were able to like pull everything together and teach the class today with you guys, which I'm excited to spend some time of my day crafting. So let's go over our supplies list of what we're going to need for class today. Okay. We're going to need some markers. These are Creatology fine tip markers. Any markers will do. Honestly, you could use crayons, matte pencils, colored pencils, anything that you want to be able to fill in the shape of our Yeti guy, which is what we're going to make today. You're going to need some construction paper or any colored paper will do. Today, we're going to use blue for our background and we're going to use green to make out our trees. So that works for that. You also then need like any kind of stiffer paper that we're going to use to make our pop-up pieces pop up. This is just like white cardstock that I have. Doesn't matter what color you use because you're not going to see it. This is going to go behind our shapes. And then we're going to need a little bit of paint. This is what kind I'm going to use. It's Creatology Kid Safe Paint. I'm only going to use the white paint. And then you can use either a pencil or a paintbrush or a pen or a pencil that has like a flat end kind of like that on the bottom that makes a big circle to do some snowflakes in a minute. And then I also have some sequins that we're going to use to put like some decorations on our card. And then you need a glue stick and some scissors, whatever kind of scissors that you want to do. The other thing that you're going to need that's not going to be a supply that you like bought or brought from home is you're going to need a copy of the template, which is what has the shape of the drawing our Yeti. So I actually left mine on my desk. So if you'll hold tight, I need to just run around the corner, grab it off of my desk, and I will be right back. So just maybe what you guys can do in the chat while I'm running to go grab it, literally it'll take 30 seconds. But if in the chat, you can maybe put what color you're planning on coloring your Yeti. Like be thinking about what you want your Yeti to look like. And I will be right back. Hold on 1 second.
You can put your answers in the Q&A as well, and we can see them that way. So far, we have purple. We have a rainbow Yeti. We have, what else do we have? Oh, we have blue. That's a good one. Pink. Good choice. Good choice. Another pink. Pink, pink, pink. Light green. Green. More pink. More blue. Blue and white.
Nice.
Rainbow.
Oh, a rainbow Yeti. I love it. So this is what it looks like, you guys. If you don't have this, you can go ahead and print it really quick. It's on the website, on the Winter Workshop website, the same place where you went to sign up for the class. There is a document that has all of the templates that you need for all of the 12 projects that we're doing. So this is what it is that we need for class today. If you don't have it printed right now, totally okay. You can just watch along, and then maybe later when your mom or your dad or your grown-up can help you get it printed, then you already know what you're doing and you can assemble it together a little bit later. This class is also being recorded, which means that you can watch it again later once you actually have everything ready. But stay with us and watch, and we'll work together on this project. Okay. you can tell that I was a little bit sick. I was actually supposed to teach a class earlier this week and then I was sick. So we're just like, I don't know if any of you guys are like homesick from school today, but it seems to be going around. Okay. So the very first thing, if you want to spotlight my workstation, that would be awesome. So that everyone can see what I'm working on, okay? I'm gonna bring this over so you can see. Okay, so the very first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna color our Yeti, okay? And this is where you can use your markers, okay? You can use colored pencils. Like I said, there's no like right or wrong way. It's whatever feels best to you. So I'm going to pull out my colored pencils, or actually what I have are markers. But whatever you want. So I think I'm going to start, and my Yeti is not going to be like a traditional, like all white Yeti, right? Because they're white because they live in the snow. And so they're white so that you can't see them, which is why no one like has ever actually seen a Yeti, or maybe you have. But I'm going to start with my hot chocolate and my cookie because that sounds delicious. And that's what I wish I had for a snack right now. So I think I am going to do a red cup for my hot chocolate. And so I'm just going to color it in. So if you guys have this is what we're going to do. We're just going to color it in and make it as whatever I want. You can do however you want. You can decide that your Yeti is striped. You can decide that he has different colored fingernails, like whatever you want to do, man. There is no right or wrong reason. Also, if you decide maybe, you know what, I don't want to do this Yeti, I want to do my own Yeti, and you want to draw your own Yeti, that's awesome too. That totally works. There are a lot of different things that you can do and a lot of different ways that you can do them, and which all work out the best. I once got a card like this, like a pop-up card from one of my nieces who lives in California when she was a lot younger, that was all pumpkins. It was just like a whole bunch of pumpkins and it was really fun. So like, that's the nice thing. You're going to now know after today how to do a pop-up card, and you can do any kind of pop-up card that you can imagine, which is super, super fun.
Hey,
So
Kristen.
yeah.
Is there a way that you can actually rotate the camera a little bit? Because our viewers are seeing it kind of at a sideways look.
Like that. Oh, let me see if I can flip it the other way.
Yeah.
Like this. Yeah, there is.
Getting there. Yep, that's it.
Like that. And then let me move it
Mhm.
over so you can see. Is that
Yeah.
better?
A little bit, can you just like a little tad bit? Yep, that's it.
There we
Perfect.
go.
Great. Mhm. Thank you so much.
No problem. Normally I teach these classes at home and I have like a whole home like setup and I know exactly what I'm doing. But today I'm making it up a little bit as I go along. So thank you. You guys just tell me what you need and we'll make it work. Okay, so there's my red cup. Does that work? Is that better for you guys? Can you see that better? And I can even move this up like that. There we go. That's even better. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with my brown and do this little top of my mug so it looks like it's actually hot chocolate, right? And I'm going to just fill that in. Okay, so there's my mug with hot chocolate. And I'm going to leave that top part white because that's going to be my whipped cream. And then let's do my Christmas cookie next. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a green, like icing on top of my cookie. And I'm going to do like that. Does anybody live somewhere right now where it's snowing? We have lots of people where it's really cold. Because I live in Texas and it is not snowing in Texas. It's kind of warm today. Okay, so there's my green cookie, and I might color the outside of it brown because it's like a ginger snap cookie, right? Do it like that.
Oops, so far we're getting Calgary, Utah.
Ooh, okay.
People are saying yes, they do have snow.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I love snow.
Mhm.
Probably
It's so
because I don't live in it the whole time. It's like such a
yeah,
rarity
exactly.
if it snows.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'll lift it up so you can see kind of what I'm doing. So you can see there's my cookie, my hot chocolate and my cookie colored. So now it's time to start coloring my abominable snowman, my Yeti. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to color the little pads of his feet and like the ears and maybe his nose and his like belly. I'm going to kind of do them all like a lighter color, and I'm probably going to do them like a pinky color. Like, you know how the like pads of a cat's feet are kind of like a pinky color, or dogs or something. All of that kind of works, so I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do all of these little pieces like this. Yellow, I mean, what, pink. Just like that. And then I'll hold it up again so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Um,
Someone in West Texas said that they got some snow after Thanksgiving, but it melted?
okay. In the
Mhm.
city of West or out in the west part of Texas? I grew up in Midland, Texas, so that's why I ask. I'm actually very familiar with like the western half of Texas. And it's
Does
like
it get snow?
say that again.
Does it get snow?
It can, yeah, it
Yeah?
definitely can. It's like out in a desert and it can get snow, definitely.
Uh,
Um, but now I live in Dallas where my job is. But yeah, I grew up in Midland, Texas, a small little town. It's actually not that small, but it's not Dallas size. Um, I love Texas. I'm a
Someone
Texas.
is asking if you can move a little bit to the side. So I think to your left, the camera.
Oh, the camera?
I think so.
Okay, like that.
I think that looks good to me. What do you guys
Okay.
think?
Is it while I'm coloring? I mean, I kind of have to be
I
over it
think
while I'm coloring,
yeah, I think that
which
that's
is
what
while I'll stop and I'll show you. So like I've colored in all of the little pads of the feet, and the insides of his ears, and he has my Yeti has a pink nose. And now I think I'm going to pick a color, and I'm going to do, you guys see this kind of line in here? I'm going to do like the inside of his belly. And I think I'm going to do that a yellow color because my Yeti has a yellow belly. So I'm going to do that right here. I'll try to color over so that you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. It's kind of hard to try to do it, to actually do the project and then out of the way, because it makes it hard for me, but I will try. Is that better so you can kind of see what I'm doing?
someone said that looks a lot better.
Okay, good. I have short little hands, so sometimes I have to like get kind of close to the project so that I can have more control over the brush. Like that. I'll just come in. So now there you go. You can see my Yeti has like a yellow stomach, a little yellow belly. And then now what I think I'm going to do I'm going to color my face and my feet and my hands. Oh, fingernails. Should I do colored fingernails? Should we do purple fingernails for our Yeti? We're going to do purple fingernails. Here so you can see. You guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat and we'll make sure we get them answered. Okay, because I just filled in their fingers. So you can see they've got little colored fingernails. And now I think I'm going to do like a gray for his face and for like the feet and his hands. And we'll go from there. Let's see here.
Someone is wondering if they color the trees.
No, we're actually going to cut the, well, for the record, you totally can. We're actually going to cut the trees out of green tissue paper, and I'll show you like a super a fun way to be able to cut your trees out and make fun different trees. So we're going to actually cut the trees out of tissue, out of construction paper here in just a minute. So that's a good question. So yeah, you could also, like, if you wanted to think about like maybe your Yeti is like the Yeti on Yelp, on Elf that lives in like a candy cane forest. Like you could like do like, you could color, you could color like some candy canes and cut those out. Like you can make your card whatever you want it to be. Maybe you're going to give this card to your grandma who loves Christmas trees. Maybe you could do like a bunch of Christmas trees and then decorate them all. Like you could do whatever you want. Well, this gray is kind of darker than I was thinking it might be, but that's okay. We'll try it. We'll just keep going. I'm just going to make sure I don't color the teeth because teeth got to stay white, right? Color it in. This is where like you get to like use your imaginations and color whatever you want. Okay, so there's where I have my Yeti face. You can see I left my teeth clear, empty with for white, but I have my pink nose and my Yeti face, and then I'm going to do the same thing down around the little pads of the feet on the Yeti feet. Make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. I don't color the best when I have to hold the pencil that far away, but this way you guys can see what I'm working on. So don't judge my not awesome coloring. Did you know that that matters? Sometimes, like if you're like painting and you want to do like super fine detailed stuff, if you get closer down to the bottom of like your brush or your pencil, then it makes it easier. But if you want it to be a little bit rougher, you can hold the device like farther away, and that makes it like a little bit like more kind of like rougher and not so like perfect. If you just want like the idea of something where you hold your marker or your paintbrush makes a difference for what you're trying to paint. That's why sometimes like when you do watercolor paints, they have shorter brushes, and like if you're doing like acrylic, they normally have longer brushes. You guys are probably already like super good artists and knew all of that. Okay, is anybody drinking hot chocolate while they work on this project today?
Someone said they love the way your Yeti looks. And then somebody
Oh,
else said that they are drinking hot chocolate.
nice.
Somebody has lemonade.
Ooh, lemonade. Love it. Okay, I want to know, are you guys traveling for Christmas? Like, where are you guys going to visit someone like grandma and grandpa or aunts and uncles? Anybody going somewhere really fun for Christmas? I want to hear about it. Put it in the chat, you guys. I'm going to go to Savannah, Georgia. I don't know if we have anybody from there, but I have my sister lives there, and I have 3 nieces and nephews that we're going to go watch Harry Potter and do some crafts and eat some yummy food and spend Christmas together.
Someone said they're going to their grandparents' house.
Nice.
Someone else said they're going to Oregon.
Ooh, Oregon's a fun place.
Chelsea's going to their aunt and uncle's. Someone else is staying home. Daniel's going to New York.
Ooh,
Um,
so
Kennedy
fun.
said, for Christmas, my grandparents are coming. My grandpa's birthday is on Christmas.
Oh my goodness. You should make him a pop-up card that says happy birthday. You could use this as your grandpa's birthday card.
That would be
Okay,
such a great idea.
so that's what I have, right? There's my like my gray face and feet. And then I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to color my horns. And I think I'm going to do he's a Christmas Yeti. So mine is going to be a red and green striped horns. So we're going to do red green on the top. And we'll do a little green stripe here. We'll do a green stripe here. I didn't think about this too much before I did it. So let's hope he turns out. So there's my green stripes. You see that? I'll go in with my red stripes next. So he's very clearly a Santa Yeti. Maybe this guy helps pull Santa's sleigh. Should have given him a red nose, huh, guys? Okay. Now, I think we need to color in some of the fur. And maybe instead of coloring all of the fur, because these markers are a little bit darker than I might like them to be, maybe what I'll do is I'm going to do like a purple tuft there, and then I'll just kind of do some like lines to make it look like it's kind of like furry. You guys do whatever you want, but I think I'll start with purple. We'll do some purple here. And we'll kind of just fill it in. Give it some texture, fill in my little. Okay. Like that. So it's not, I'll show you what I mean. So it's not like filled in all the way, like I didn't color it all, but I did lines to make it look like it's actual fur. That's what I'm going to do. And I think I'll do some of that around the rest of my Yeti. Although first I'm realizing I probably need to give my Yeti some claws. Maybe let's do orange on that. I heard someone say a rainbow Yeti and that's stuck in my head. So that's what we're going with, guys. I actually have a sign, a poster in my bedroom that says I never met a color I didn't love, because I'm a huge fan of all things colorful. Okay, so you can see now I have like kind of like orangey claws on here, like these guys. And now I'm going to do blue for the fur, and I'm going to kind of do the same thing I did here, except a little bit less of it. So I'm going to just kind of like do some like pieces around here like that to make it look like it's like along the sides. Maybe a little bit more here, like here. And we'll do some over here. And we'll do some up here like this. And I'll show you. All right. So instead of filling in all of the like fur, I just kind of like drew some lines to make it look kind of like it's got fur. So that's the nice thing sometimes too. If I had like a lighter like marker or like a pencil, I might fill it all in with like a lighter blue and then go back in with my marker and draw some like thicker lines to make it look like it's actually like kind of furry. But this is my Yeti. So I'm done with my Yeti. If you guys are not done with your Yeti, it's okay. You guys can just keep working on it. But if you are done with your Yeti, it's time to cut your Yeti out. So I'm going to grab my scissors. And these guys are meant to be like a template. If you don't know how to cut out a Christmas tree or want to draw your own Christmas tree, you can cut these guys out and trace them onto the green. You totally can do that. But I'm going to show you a really fast and easy way to cut out Christmas trees by just using triangles. And I'll show you how to do that. So first I'm going to cut out my Yeti. Let me just get it big so I'm not working with the whole thing. And then I'm just going to kind of come in, and I'm not going to do it like super perfect, but I'm going to just follow along the side and then just kind of cut it out so you guys can, and I'll show you once I'm all done with it. Just cut out my Yeti. The thing I love about art, you guys, is that there's like no such thing as a mistake you can't fix. Like if you decided that I don't like what I did, well, look at it, see what you can do to tweak it to make it so that you're really happy with it. Also, like, this is just paper. If you want to start over, do that. That's okay. There's no like, sometimes like the great thing about art is it just like turns off your brain a little bit and you can just focus on one easy thing, and it makes it so that it's like super easy to just like dial in on something artistic. It helps our brains feel like rested and refreshed. And the thing I love about Christmas art stuff especially is that we normally are doing it for somebody else, which then makes us think of like the person that we love and the person who we're making this card for, right? Which is really awesome. Okay. Okay, so here's my Yeti. Let me move it over so you can see it. So he's all cut out, right? There's my Yeti ready to go. Now, our next step is going to be to cut out our Christmas trees. And I'm going to show you how to cut out your Christmas trees without even drawing anything if you don't want to. So I'll put him right here. I'm going to use my green construction paper. I have a piece of green already cut out, so we're going to use that. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut out a triangle, a long, tall, skinny triangle, okay? Okay, so here's my
And with the
triangle.
trees, oh, sorry. With
Go
the
ahead.
trees, are they able to use like foam for the trees if they don't have
Yep,
the paper or the tissue
yep.
paper?
You can totally use foam. You could use, if you only have white paper, use white paper and color it. Absolutely. You can use, like, that's the great thing. As long as it's something that kind of like lays flat, you can use it. You could even, like, if you wanted to get really fancy, you could pull out pipe cleaners and like put pipe cleaners on it. All of that totally works. Like, absolutely. I'm going to show you how to do it with papers today, because that's what I have. And that's how like it was, that's what was in the instructions, but you don't have to use it that way. You can do whatever you want. Absolutely. Okay, so you get a green triangle cut out. See my green triangle? And then now what I'm going to do, like you could even use just this as like a tree. That's not a bad looking tree, just like a really simple, like generic kind of a tree, cartoony tree. Or if you want a tree that looks like this, that has these little like ledges, we're going to show you. So what I like to do is I like to cut a line. Here, I'll get up close so you can see what I'm doing. I cut a line there, and then I cut another one down here. And then I do the same thing on the other side. So you see, I have those two lines, and I'm going to match them up on the other side like that. So now I have 4 lines cut in my tree, okay? And then all you're going to do is you're going to come down on the bottom and cut up like that. And then the same thing here, gonna cut up to my line like that. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Like that. Like that. And then I'm gonna tweak my top a little bit. And there's a tree. It's as simple as that. If I decide I want to make these bigger, you can. If you decide you want to make it shorter, I can trim it off. But that's a really easy way to make a tree. You want me to show you guys how to do that one more time? I'll show you. Okay, so I'm going to just use the other side. I'm going to make, maybe let's make a fat tree. Okay. Okay, so I've got my long skinny triangle. Okay, I'm going to cut my 4 lines in it like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so you can see like I've got a line here and here and a line here and here. So that's how I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to come up from the bottom corner up to the inside of that line and cut it. And then I'm going to do from the middle corner up to the inside of that line and cut it. Okay. And the same thing on the other side. From here to the inside there. Like that. Oh, we'll trim it a little bit here. And there's my Christmas tree. That makes sense to everybody? You guys ever seen someone cut a Christmas tree that way? I like it because it looks kind of like no tree is the same. Now, if I didn't like that tree and I wanted to do something different, you totally can. Like pull out your green paper or whatever you're doing, and I can pull out and I can do different kinds of trees. I think that this is nice and easy and kind of fun. I'm gonna do one tree though that's just like straight. That's really simple, that looks like that. Except I'm going to make this kind of like tall and skinny like this. That's not going to have any lines. So these are going to be my 3 trees. Okay. So I have my 3 trees. I can get rid of all of this. This is all stuff we don't need anymore. And I've got my Yeti. Okay. Now, the other thing that we need, I'm going to use my white piece of paper. Any white piece of paper will do. I have this guy. And this is going to be, I'm going to make a cave for my Yeti, because a Yeti normally lives in like caves, right? Well, that's what we think. We don't know that they're actual real animals, do we? So I'm going to kind of cut out like a irregular looking kind of circle. I'm just like making it up as I go along here. I'll put this down on the bottom so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Okay. And I'm gonna like tweak it a little bit, make it pretty. And then I'm gonna actually like cut away some of it so that it looks like craggly a little bit, maybe. Ooh, that's a good Yeti, right? I'm gonna be good with that. And then what I might do is I'm going to like actually cut out something on the inside so that it looks like a doorway. And I'm just like wiggling my scissors as I cut it so that it's not like perfect. Because I don't want it.
Using, oh, sorry, Kristen.
Go ahead.
If somebody was using foam for their trees, they would just go, they could probably go about it the same way as
Absolutely
you did.
the exact same way. You 100% could. In fact, I have a piece of foam. Do you want me to show you guys on that with that really quick?
That would be amazing.
Yeah. I even have green foam. So it's the same step. I'm going to cut a triangle. It's my triangle. Okay. So I have foam and I'm going to do my lines on both sides. So you can even see it a little bit better how I have 4 lines. And you're going to come from the bottom corner to the inside of that top line like that. And pop that out. And then you'll go from this corner to the inside of that top line and pop that out. So now I have one side done, and you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Pull that out. Pull that out. And then I'm going to fix the top of my tree a little bit so that it looks a little bit straighter. And there's a little tree. Yep, it's the same exact. You cut out one big triangle, and then you cut out 1, 2, 3, 4 more triangles. Really is all you're doing. Little triangles out of the side of your tree. It's a really simple way to look at it. But yeah, you can totally use foam. If you have foam and you want to cut out the cave in foam, do it. That works too. You can totally do that. So now that I have all of my pieces, I'm going to get my blue ready because I'm going to do this on a blue background. Now, the only part that you probably can't cut out of foam is like the actual card part. And I'm going to use blue. Okay. I have a piece of blue. And it's not going to come out perfect. It wants to be a little bit kind of rough on the edge, but that's okay. I'm going to cut it and clean it up. Okay. I'm going to just cut like a straight line so that it's a straight, like pretty edge. You guys see how it kind of ripped out of the book, kind of silly. You might not have to do this step. You might have it pull out like a blue piece of paper and it works out perfectly. But it didn't come out that way for me. So I'm going to just clean up my edge. Okay. All right. So now I have my blue piece of paper. And we're going to assemble our card now. Okay. So, and I'm gonna, there are instructions. There's 2 ways that you can do a pop-out card, and I'm going to show you both ways. I'll show you first the way that the instructions had us do it, and then I'll show you the way that I like to do it that I think actually works even better. And I'll show you both ways so that you can decide how you want to do it. All right. I'll show them both to you. But both of them start with a blue piece of paper, and we're going to fold this over like this. We're making our card, right? Okay. So we're going to start this with our card. So here's our card. It's going to be, you're folding it long, you're folding it hamburger, not hot dog. Okay. So that you can open it this way, and we're going to build our scene right here on the inside bottom part of this picture. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to glue down our picture. Well, actually, first, let me show you this. So there are 2 ways to assemble a pop-up card. So the first way is that you can just do it like this, where you fold it like this way, and you can use a piece of paper, of thicker paper. This is where foam won't work. You can't use foam for this because it doesn't fold very well. But you're going to use some paper, and you're like going to cut out a strip like this, and you're going to fold it. And you would glue it to one side of your Yeti like this, and then glue the bottom of this to your card so that it sticks up. And then when you like shut it, it shuts down. What I find with that, and I'll show you what I mean. Where's my example? Where's my example card that I made? Is it under here? Where's my example? Here it is. So I'll show you. So that is this way, where you have a tab attached to the card and attached to the back of your drawing. What I don't love about that is that after a while, like you see how my trees didn't pop up. So like if it stays folded and before you give it to someone, it's not a true pop-up card. And so then you have to like go in and you have to like pop it up to get it to like to pop up. So that's one way you can do it, where you just cut out little squares, glue, fold it in half, glue one side to the bottom and one side to the back of your tree or the back of your Yeti, and then it can stand up like this. But you can see how once I like shut it down, and then I put it in an envelope or give it, then it doesn't really pop up very well. It's not my favorite way to do it, but I'm going to show you the right way, a different way to do it that will help it pop up a whole lot, which I think actually makes it a lot of fun. Okay, so that's the way that I'm going to show you. So what you're going to do is we're going to do it this way instead. Okay. So you're going to take your paper and we're going to use the center to make it pop up. Okay. And I'll show you what I mean. I have 4 things that I need to attach to a pop-up piece. I've got 3 trees and I've got a Yeti. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some tabs. I'm going to cut like a little strip here. Okay, here's one. Here's another one, and I'll show you what we're going to do. So here's one tab. Here's another tab. And then I'm going to here's my Yeti in the middle. Okay. Here's my Yeti. And then I need another little spot. Okay. So now when you open it, you have these like strips in the middle. And what I like to do is I like to fold them in reverse. And so I pull them out like this so that when I fold it in the middle, when I fold it next time, they're going to pop out like this. Like this. So you see how I'm doing that? So I'm pulling them out and then I'm going to fold them back down. I'm going to pull them back out and I'm going to fold it back down. So now you can see where I have my tabs. And then I'll show you when I open it, they automatically open. And now we're going to glue our stuff to this. Do you see? Does that make sense what I did? So I cut my strips. And then I pulled them in so that they were inside. So that the outside looks like this. The outside of the card looks like this. We will fix that. Don't you worry. We're going to put another piece of paper on it so that you can't see it when we open it from the inside. But don't worry, that's going to be fixed. That'll be the last thing that we do. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to open it like this. And now I have my strips and now I'm going to use my glue gun. Okay. I have some glue. If you have liquid glue, that works too. If you have a glue stick, I said glue gun, I meant glue stick. If you have a glue stick, that works too. And we're going to start attaching our things. Now, does anybody have any questions about what I just did before I start assembling pieces?
There are a couple questions regarding the cave, with the first question being, does the size of the cave matter?
It doesn't really matter. I'll show you what we're going to do with the cave here in
Okay.
just a second.
And
Want
then-
it to be, it doesn't matter how big it is. You definitely want it at least like big enough so that your Yeti looks like it would fit. And
Right.
we're going to kind of put the cave behind like this so that it looks like our Yetis come out of the cave. So the Yeti's going to be down here and then the cave's going to be up. So it looks like he can come in and out of the cave. Does that make sense? It's tricky to show it because it's in 3D. I'll show you.
Right. There are a few people wondering if you can go back over really quickly
Yep.
on how to cut the tab.
Yep, happy to do that. We're going to use a different color of paper. We'll just start fresh. We'll just do an orange one, okay? So it's really, really simple. If you can cut straight lines, you can do this. So we're gonna start with a piece of paper. We're gonna fold it in half, okay? And then you decide, you already know how many things you're gluing, right? How many pop-ups you need. So for this one, let's say I need 3. So I'm going to do 3 pop-ups. And there's one, and then we'll do another one over here. Now, depending on how big you make your cuts, that will tell you where your pop-up, where your picture, where your item pops up. So then when you open it, you can see how I have all of those things, those lines cut. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open it, I'm gonna pull this one out. And you're gonna kind of use that line and fold it like that. And then you're gonna do the same thing with your next tab, and you're gonna fold it there. And then you're gonna do it there, okay? And then it's gonna make sure, so then now that I have them all sticking out, when I shut it, I just wanna make sure that they all go out this way. They kind of want, the first time you fold it, this is the tricky part. Now they're all sticking out. So then I'm gonna pull it out, pull them all out, you see, and then I'm gonna push this one in, and then I'm gonna fold it down. So now I have my lines, and then I push these lines here good. And now when I open it, I have like my ledges where I can glue my things to right here.
Someone is wondering, does it matter the size of the slips?
You just want to make sure that you can't see them. So like if I have a skinny tree, you might not want a giant slit like that. It doesn't matter. If I want a tree to be farther out here, then you might cut a longer strip. But you just want to make sure that whatever you cut them, it fits in like from here up. You don't want it, like if I cut it too far out, then it might stick out. So you just kind of want to like look at it, and here I know I can like make it work so that my guys will fit, and then when it shuts, it all fits inside. Does that make sense? But that's how you do it. You're basically making squares. If I can hold it down where you can see it. So you're making squares out of the paper that then folds. But I like it this way because then it's attached on both sides and it always automatically pops back up. So it makes it more true, like a pop-up card. So back to our guy, I'm gonna push him back in, okay? So our first order of business is going to be, I'm gonna attach my abominable snowman. And what I like to do is not glue here. I like to glue on my strip, because that then helps me make sure that I'm not getting glue all over, because you don't want glue anywhere but on this strip, or then your card won't open, okay? So then I always just glue right on my strip. And then I'm gonna put my abominable snowman there. So then, actually, hold on, let me make sure I did that right. And then you want the bottom of your abominable snowman to match up with the bottom of your cut, right? And so I'm gonna like put it right here so that he is, when I fold it, it shuts. Do you see how I did that? Here, let me put this down and I'll show you. So now my abominable snowman pops up when I open it. It automatically pops up. And so now I'm going to do the same thing with my trees on the 3 other little tabs that I created, okay? And I'm going to do this tree right here. I'm going to put him behind, and I'm going to line it up where the bottom of the tree goes. And then we'll do this one right here, okay? And then this one right here is going to be here. Okay. And then when I fold it and all of these pieces go back down, you see, I'll show you what happens. This is the magic. They pop up. See, they stick up. It's hard to, here, will you show my face? That might be a better way to, that's a better angle than trying to lift it up. So when you open it, they pop up, and now that's what it looks like on the front, which is really exactly like what we want it to look like. So now we have my abominable snowman. The only thing I need to add now is my cave. And so you can go back down to my my phone angle looking down. So now I'm going to glue my abominable snow, my cave. And I'm going to put it kind of back behind here so that when it opens, it looks like they're all standing in front of my cave. Like that. Okay. Which is really exactly like what I want it to look like. And then sometimes it's helpful to like fold it over, just push everything down and then make sure it like pops up the way that we want. Okay. So then see, that shows me that this gets stuck behind. So I'm going to add a little bit more glue here. Okay. Let's see. And then the very last step is to do some snow. And if you want to attach some sequins to your tree, you can do that. Just decorate it however you want to decorate it. Make sure we get some in there. There you go. Sticking to my hand for some reason, guys. There we go. So you can like decorate it. I'm going to show you a really cool trick to add snow to a painting. So we're going to use some of our white paint. And we're going to pull out, I'm going to open this really quick. Okay. I'm going to use my white. And I have a little dollop here, and I'm going to use a cup over here that I have that has, I'm going to put my white paint in. Actually, we'll just use the container. Pull off the lid. Over there where it won't get a mess. And then what you can do is you can use the bottom of a paintbrush. So it doesn't matter what kind of paintbrush. I'm not even going to use this part. I'm going to use this part. Okay. And you're just going to get, you're going to get it, dip it into the paint so that it looks like that. You see how that looks like, where I have all of that paint on the bottom. Okay. And then all you have to do is like just dot it, and it makes perfect white dots. And then if I want bigger dots, I can go back in and I can get more paint on the bottom. And then I can just keep going, and it just makes perfect white snow drops.
Ooh, Kristen, somebody asked if they can use liquid whiteout instead of paint.
Oh, 100%. You absolutely could use liquid whiteout. That would work great. You just want to make sure, like with paint, you let it dry. That would work. You can also, if you have a pencil with an eraser, use the eraser. Or if you just have like a pen, which is what like this is, anything that has like a small circle, like I'm going to use the bottom of my pen, see? And you can do just like circles like that. Anything that you want to like add your white, and you just keep going back into the white paint, and you just keep adding your circles depending. But anything that's like small, this is like such a good tip if you ever need to do like eyes on an animal. These work great for little eyes. They make perfect little circle eyes. If you don't trust yourself to use a paintbrush to get it right, I use this tip all the time. Anytime I need like a perfect little circle. So that would be my suggestion. And then the very last thing that you need to do, and you can like color this, you can like add like pom-poms, you can add a whole lot more sequins if you want to. And for the sake of time, I won't do that. But like you can just decorate this to the heart's content to do whatever you want. But you have this really cute little scene now for your snowflake. The very last step is to attach it to another piece so that you don't have a card that is I'll show you. So you don't have a card that has this when you fold it up, because you don't want to give a card and they say, what did you make me? So I'll show you how we fix it so that it doesn't look like that on the outside. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull any piece of paper for this picture. I'm gonna do white, because then that gives me another surface to be able to decorate it with. And all you do, you guys, it's so easy. You're just not even gonna believe it. I'm gonna put a bunch of glue. I'm gonna do some glue here. And I'm gonna leave the middle without glue because I don't want to accidentally glue down my tabs. I want to leave these unglued so that they keep popping up. And then all you do is line it up. Okay, just like this. Okay. And then you dot it down. Okay, I'm trying to do it without getting it on the paint. And then you fold it again. And then I'll show you. And now you have a surface where you can write Merry Christmas, Grandpa, or sister, or whatever you want. Draw another cute design here. And then when you open it, it's like pops up and it's like a perfect, beautiful Christmas card that opens and pops up repeatedly over and over and over again. Which is a really fun way to do it. I like doing it this way. If you want to come back up to my face so that I can wrap it up, but this way it gives you the way to be able to like have like a perfect Christmas card that like keeps opening and keeps popping. And this way it lasts a lot longer this way. So it's just as simple as cutting out those strips, pulling them forward, and then once you're all done, the very last thing is to attach a background, another piece of paper, so that it gives you a straight edge and you can decorate it. And then you can have your perfect card. So that is how you make your little Yeti Christmas card. What do you guys think? Did you guys have fun? I had a lot of fun crafting with you today. Lots of fun. I hope that we answered all of your questions. Are there any questions that you guys have right now before our time is up that we need to answer?
So far, the only question that I've seen is, can you do the slit pop-up version on the bottom half? And I'm not really sure what that's in referencing to.
So they're probably looking for ways to, I'm guessing, to put more pop-ups down here. And that is tricky, the slit pop-up. So maybe what you might want to do in that instance is do like the method where you use like a little piece of paper and you could put some deeper like pop-ups down below. And if you, and the nice thing about that is, so let me show you what that means, how I would do that. So I have my paper, right? That's my square that's folded, and we'll use the foam Christmas tree that I cut out earlier, okay? And let's say that we want to put that kind of here in the corner in the front, okay? So what I'm going to do is, one thing to think about is you don't want it too close to the front, because look what happens if I close it. Then you have things sticking out the top. So you need to be mindful. Now, if I wanted to like, say I wanted to turn this into like a Christmas tree ornament or something that was a little bit shorter and like rounder and put it up front. So you kind of have to be mindful. You don't want things sticking out the top of your card. So think of that. But if I wanted to do a tree here, what I would do is I would use this method, and I'm going to first, let me make this a little bit smaller so it doesn't show. So first I'm going to glue it down to the paper. Okay, so I put a glue on here, and what I would do is I would put it here. Okay, so then I have like a tab of glue glued to there, and I have a little like flippy piece sticking up. Okay, and then what I would do is I would then come over here and I would put a glue here. So I put glue back on the front of it, and I would stick my tree to that. Okay, and then it'll pop up, and then I have a tree, a picture that looks like that, right? And then I have something closer to the front. The benefit of that is when I shut it, like it just gets tricky, because you want to make sure that it'll fit, or if you pop it up so it doesn't stick out, you just kind of need to make sure. But if I did, like, let's say that I just do one tree like that, okay, and I have a shorter tree, and then I put it down, then when I fold it all up, now I can have two things. It just is, it might look a little bit different. You see how, that's why I showed you guys this method, because this way it just stops popping up after a while. It never like looks the same after the first time, just because you're dealing with folded paper and it just won't work that way. But yeah, that would be how you could add things to the front. Okay, did I answer that question? I hope that was helpful. Any other questions that we need to answer?
Not that I saw. Everybody's just saying thank you for the class.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much. The class will be on the website tomorrow, so that you'll be able to go in and watch it and do it again. And if you do the project, be sure to like do hashtag Michael's winter workshop or hashtag Michael's classes. Make it with Michael so that I can go in and see what you guys did. But I hope you guys had a great time making this little winter scene. And I had a really good time with you guys today. Bye, everybody.